NextEra Energy is one of the better green energy stocks on the stock market in general for a number of reasons. It's large, $144 billion market cap. There's not a lot of green energy companies even near this size. It's profitable, has a decent PE ratio. A lot of the green energy companies are startups and new, not profitable, not large. Also, it pays a decent dividend and has a history of growth. We can see since 2015, early 2015, so a decade back, it's up from about 25 to 27, so somewhere in the 250 to 300% range, excluding any dividend payments you might have gotten during that time. So this is a company that is proven, is large, is profitable. And a lot of the green energy companies, at least in the United States, are not any of those things. Maybe one of them, probably not any. So I think this is one of the safer green energy stocks you can buy. Closer to 30 PE, I was a bit more iffy on it, but we are lower than that now. There's a couple of factors into that, right? It's generally expected that in terms of politics, I don't like to get into politics, but in this scenario it is. Generally, Democrats are more lenient in giving funding towards that thing from the government. Republicans are probably not going to do any of that. Obviously, Republicans are now in control, so there's some factors in there. But it's really not crazy. A company that is NextEra Energy's size, has their influence, has their profitability, should be able to grow during it. Now, is it going to affect the valuation? Yes, but for people that don't have any stake in it right now, this is a opportunity to buy, because we can probably expect, even if that's a worry, if you're investing for the long term, let's say 3 to 10 years, that sounds crazy long, but probably within that time period, Democrat will get control, they'll get money from that too, so who cares, right? Yeah, in the short term, you're probably not going to get anything crazy. 4 PE is right around the same. However, it is growing, so that's not bad at all. You would expect something around 20 PE would probably not be going crazy high. The dividend is increasing exponentially, 13, 13, 13, 12, 10, 10, 10. And this year it's projected right around a 10% increase as well. So yeah, it's clear to me that you're probably going to get more of your value from the stock in terms of the dividend it pays. That isn't to say you won't get any growth on the share price, because you probably will. This is the highest this company ever is. It would be pretty surprising. However, it is clear by the dividend payment they're making and hiking it that over the last, at least since 2016, it is clear the company is trying to pivot in a way that produces more money to shareholders. But that's very, very common for the utility-energy industry in general, because they have high debt generally, and they just get monthly income. So it's easier to say, okay, we're expanding here, we get some loans here, our month to month, payments by, people just paying utility companies or businesses and people. They just, okay, we increase this much, we'll pay this much more out in dividends. That's generally how these companies work. It's very, very, very common. So you can expect probably in the long term, 10 plus year range, this will probably be a lot less growth and probably closer to 3 or 4% dividend yield. However, that's not a guarantee, and they could always shift philosophy, certainly if they try to grow a lot more. And you can read a bit on what they do, but they do lots of different, energy through wind, solar, nuclear, natural gas, other clean energy. I know nuclear is kind of a big rave with the larger tech companies, because they need so much power. Also, utility companies in general, AI and all that stuff, dirty little secret no one's really talking about. There's not enough power for any of those guys. You can even see it in TSM, we're getting really in the nitty gritty. But companies like TSM are designing their chips to be more power efficient, which goes to NVIDIA, right? And NVIDIA is trying to make their chips more power efficient because they use so much power. There's literally not enough power, and that's why you see companies like Amazon, hey, can we get some nuclear? The government's kind of like, I don't know about it. So it's complicated. But there's one thing that's clear that no one's really talking about that much, is they use so much energy, and energy in general, certainly in terms of utilities, right? There's a huge, huge need, and it's only going to expand. And companies like NextEra Energy are also, they're going to have, certainly the ones like NextEra Energy are going to have a competitive advantage, because they're going to say, hey, we're really clean as well. And companies generally like to say, hey, we aren't destroying the environment. That's a thing that certainly the larger ones that can really afford that too. The Apples, NVIDIAs, Googles, Amazons, whatever. Yeah, I think this company will do well. I think it's a good buying opportunity. Now, I'm not saying it's never going to go down. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if it fell to like 55 over the long term. It seems to jump up and spike down. That's just the nature of these types. And certainly with rates maybe not being cut as much, sure, some reaction there. However, this is not a terrible opportunity to buy, in my opinion, either. If I'm being honest, I'm usually more so like, yeah, I'll buy it here, and if it goes down 5, 10, 12% before recovering, I don't really care. That's just me personally. If you're someone who's more, I gotta have the perfect opportunity, maybe this isn't for you, but that's just my opinion. About half of analysts, that would be what, 15 of 24 are saying buy, so a bit more than half. That's pretty good. A bit more than average for a company like this, although it does, I'm going to say not growth, but it does have a weird blend of, ooh, this should be good long-term sort of thing, kind of like expecting a bit more than the average utility company, if that makes sense. So this is somewhere in the a little bit above average for analyst ratings. Yeah, I think I've covered most of what I want to. I think NextEra Energy is a very good long-term option. Certainly, if you want green energy, there's not a lot of better options, in my opinion. I'm actually really interested in some of those. I've tried to do a lot of research on them, but there's just not a whole lot. So if there's any I'm missing that, let's say, bigger than 10 billion and are profitable green energy companies in the United States, I would be curious to look at them if you have them in the comments. But I appreciate all of you for watching, and I hope to catch you next time.